It may not look like much, but this little can has the ability to stop a charging grizzly. Since its invention in the 1980s, bear spray has become an essential tool for people recreating or working in bear country. It's easy to use, it has a better success rate than any other deterrent, and it has saved countless lives, both human and bear. But it got me wondering, if this stuff is so strong that it can convince some of the biggest terrestrial predators on Earth to pack up and go home, what does it feel like to take a shot of it to the face? I haven't figured out how to talk to bears yet, despite my best efforts, so I did the next best thing and called up a few hikers who have first-hand experience being bear sprayed. Lee Trebetich is a chef and backpacker from North Carolina.
The year was 2013, it was in September, and we were out in Yellowstone National Park. We attended one program in particular was a bear safety program, ironically, at the Old Faithful Visitor Center, and it was held right outside the main Visitor Center Lodge and hosted by one ranger who was, at the time, looked really young, maybe kind of new to the scene. She had a can of bear spray on her, but it was mostly on her hip, and she was going over it and briefly talking about it, and it was the last segment where she actually pulled the can out and started talking about, bear spray, proper way to use it. Well, lo and behold, there was this one gentleman we didn't know that kept on asking to hold the bear spray. He's like, hey, I've never, had to pull the safety off mine. Can you show me how? And she responded, that's a good thing. You've never had to pull the safety off. And no, I'm not going to let you hold it. And this one in particular male keeps on bugging her just to hold the spray. And during conversations with another visitor, she just, I guess, had enough. And so she kind of nonchalantly hands this bear spray to this pedestrian. And he's to my right. My girlfriend is to the left. And as she hands this bear spray to him, I look over to my now wife and I say, I really don't think this is a good idea. And as I rolled my head back over, he's standing shoulder with me. I look over and he's struggling with the safety clip. And by the time I look and make contact, the safety clip pops and point blank, the bear spray goes off in my face. And all I remember is everybody scattering, everybody running. And it got to the point where I'm screaming. I end up running into the visitor center. I can't see. I'm just making a loud noise. I ended up clearing it out. I had a couple of rangers trying to help me flush my eyes in the bathroom. And, I'm going through this extreme pain. A lot of the group got hit with secondary, but I was the one that got direct contact. And I come out, I look like hell, eyes swollen. I come out and people are still kind of around. And as I'm coming out, this guy looks over to my girlfriend, Meg, and it's like, man, your boyfriend just took a shot in the face with bear spray. And I had dreads at the time too. And so for the next couple months, almost a year, that bear spray was stuck in my dreads. So anytime, even after washing them, anytime my dreads would get near my eyes would just start lighting up with just like, it almost felt like pepper spray again. The way I can describe it is somebody just standing over your open eyelid with a cayenne pepper and a lemon and just squeezing it in there while you can't blink. So I'm still an advocate. I've personally seen what it can do. It definitely works.
While Trebetich's experience was a worst-case scenario, even getting bear sprayed indirectly can be an agonizing experience. Chelsea Murphy is the hiker and content creator behind the account She Colors Nature. She had just gotten back to her home from an excursion with her toddler in north central Washington when she accidentally triggered a can of bear spray in her pack's external pocket.
I was actually out shooting content for a brand and getting outside with my toddler. So we had just gone on like a long bike ride. We had gotten out and done some wildflower identification and just like getting outside. My mantra is just like getting outside 30 minutes every day. I had actually cut my finger on this bike extravaganza with my son. And so I was kind of rushing. I had just pulled into my driveway and I had my finger wrapped because I was going to bandage it and get it all, stitched up and ready to continue doing my mothering thing. And so I was reaching and looking for my cell phone because I was going to try and get a hold of my husband to see if he could help me out. And so in the process of reaching for my cell phone in the back of my Bronco, I yanked on my hiking pack, and it must have, released the whatever safety or pull pin that there is on the bear spray canister. And this bear spray canister, I will also say, has lived in the same place on the side of my hiking pack for the last like 7 to 8 years. So it's amazing that this was the first time that this has happened to me. My first instinct when I heard the of the spray of the can was to kind of stumble back and assess what just happened. And so that's what I did. I stumbled out and was just like, that was my bear spray. And then all of the terrible, horrible things start tracking through your brain. I didn't know at that point where it had gone and where it had landed on my body, if it had landed on my body. So I called my husband. He was unavailable, and I sent a bunch of like SOS messages out to him. I had already taken my toddler out of his car seat and put him like in our little play area in the front yard, thankfully, so he was not in any danger. I called my neighbor. She answered. I was like, "Are you home?" Apparently I was really calm. I didn't actually tell her like I just got sprayed in the face with bear spray. I just said, "Are you home? Can you please come over?" And when she actually arrived, she's around the corner, I was just like leaning over my hose, the garden hose, just like spraying my eyes and spitting on the gravel. And she was just like, what is going on here? Like, are you okay? My son is just, off playing happily, not knowing at all what had gone on. And then I just let her know, like, I just got sprayed in the face with bear spray. She started Googling, and Google says, stay calm, right? Like the most important thing, stay calm in the situation. Don't panic. You might feel the urge to panic once the sting starts to set in. So by that time, a couple minutes had passed and my lips were just like on fire. I could tell that nothing had gotten in my mouth. Like I had kind of felt like breathing in like really intense hot jalapenos or peppers or something. But it hadn't really affected my mouth too much. It was all topical. She's like, if you have contacts in, you should take those out. And that was like a pivotal moment, I think, in the experience for me, because as soon as I took out my contacts, which were kind of acting as like a barrier to my eyes at that point, I don't know if it was on my hands, but it just like lit everything up. Like my eyebrows, my forehead, my eyes were just hurting so much. Yeah. And in the back of my head, I just kept thinking like the poor bears, or, the people who accidentally get sprayed in the face with pepper spray or bear spray. It's not a fun experience at all.
Now, Murphy and Trebetich got lucky in one key way. Their bear spray incidents occurred near a bathroom where they could wash themselves off. But what about when you're out in the backcountry? I asked my coworker, Matthew Keenan, who had his own run-in with bear spray while hunting in Wyoming.
I was in Wyoming, elk hunting with bear spray. And so we had just driven to some remote back spot where we were gonna unload from the truck and hike into the woods a bit. And this was like the second or third stop that we'd had. So, each stop, got my pack, got bear spray on the hip holster, everything's sort of ready to go. So I just grabbed my pack out of the truck, walked around, checked my water bottle, and then threw my pack on. And as I was tightening my shoulder straps, heard like a hissing sound and was like, that's weird. And then splatter on my face. And this like moment of panic of like, what is that? And then I that sort of delay before pain sets in. And what had happened is, in taking my pack out of the truck, the safety clip from the bear spray had popped off. It was still hanging on the string on the canister, but it had popped off. And then it was on my hip belt, and when I pulled my straps down to tighten those up, I just pressed right down onto it. And I'm not sure how the angle quite worked out, but it basically sprayed my whole arm, and that splattered up onto my face. So it wasn't like I got sprayed directly in the face, but from how much that hurt, I'm incredibly glad that I didn't do that. I quickly realized what had happened and threw my pack off. My buddy who'd been driving the truck, he had been figuring out his own gear, quickly jumps in the truck to find a different water bottle because he didn't want to go next to my pack. He's like coughing and feeling like, just from it being in the air, like it stopped spraying. He's like running over to me with water, trying to help me get it out of my eyes. I'm grabbing snow and like scrubbing my face as much as I can. And it was just like an incredibly painful experience. After all that, I had one bar of service and called my friend who's an optometrist to see like, do I need to go to a hospital? Luckily he answered and was like, no, if you can see, you're probably fine. Like in a perfect world, you'd have like a saline solution and flush your eyes. Like, but I understand you're in the middle of the woods. We spent another 20 minutes or so scrubbing down our clothes and everything with snow. It's amazing. It got everywhere. Like we found like it leave like little droplets that were like visible on our clothes, on the side of his truck, like any plastic around like the wheel well or his mirror had like little drops that were obvious that we tried to scrub off so that he wouldn't have like permanent mace or bear spray damage. And then when I got home, my wife, we told her the story. She laughed at me because I was fine, because that's what you do when people are okay, is you laugh at the stories. And then she like kissed me on my head, on my hair, and she got like tingling lips from like the bear spray that was still in my hair. It's not like I got full on in the face, but it was plenty to make me never want to do that again.
The three people we talked to each had vastly different experiences, but they all agreed on one thing. Bear spray hurts. A lot. All three of our interviewees came away with an appreciation for the power that bear spray packs and a new understanding of why it's important to store it safely. So next time you're out on the trail, bring your bear spray, but maybe check the safety first.